What's up, besties and homies? It's your girl Aisha checking in, back with another video. If you're new to the channel, welcome to Strong Friends Check-In Podcast. So I want to talk briefly about the spiritual warfare that's happening in Black families and just how the Black community has changed over the last, I want to say, 2 decades. I've noticed a significant change in the way we treat each other, specifically in families. And I've heard people talk about fixers. You know, some people are fixers, but never heard anybody talk about the breakers. So that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the breakers in the Black community, those who have a desire or some strong inclination to break other members of their community, specifically members of their family. If you have been a target of that brand of wickedness, then you probably have felt confused. You probably have a lot of questions, and you're probably wondering why certain family members would betray you, or why there is so much hatred coming your way. First of all, I want to say that typically that happens to individuals who are different. So there's something special about you. There's something unique. It could be that you're the smartest. It could be that you're the most ambitious. It could be that you're the prettiest. Could be that you just have a different way of thinking, right? You challenge the status quo. And so when there are witches and warlocks in your family, they don't like that because it's about control. It's not a family, it's a cult. And it's about control. And you notice that in any environment where there are witches and warlocks, for example, even the Black church and a lot of these so-called churches, there is a lot of control, mind control over the members, especially Black women. But that's a whole nother story. And in reality, it's not a church, it's a cult. And so it's happening that way in families as well. If they saw something in you that made them feel threatened in any way, then they're going to target you. So if there is dysfunction and degeneracy in your family and you have the potential to break generational curses, then the witches and warlocks are going to target you. And if you are a strong individual, then you're most likely going to be targeted by those people, especially if you're a strong Black woman. And I don't mean obnoxious. I mean strong, meaning you're resilient. You are determined. You push through every situation and circumstance and you come out better. You come out unburned. And so these people who are trying to break you, they're not successful. They haven't been successful in their endeavor to break you down. And so it's frustrating, it's aggravating, it's upsetting the enemy. Whatever you call the enemy, you can say evil force, the devil, Satan, Lucifer, whatever you call the enemy, it's upsetting that evil spirit that wants to break you down, because this life is spiritual. I say all the time, it's spiritual warfare. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but with principalities, powers, rulers of the darkness of this world, and spiritual wickedness in high places. And so oftentimes we're fighting these invisible battles and we don't understand, like, okay, this person is supposed to love me. This is my family. Why is this person trying to tear me down? Why would my aunt say something that's so degrading and so disrespectful? And I haven't done anything but be kind to her. Why would an elder treat me like this? And see, what we have to understand as Black women as well is that there are a lot of older Black women who possess these demonic spirits of jealousy and envy and insecurity, and they've never done the soul work to overcome these things, to conquer these spirits. So they've just gone their whole lives being jealous and envious of younger women, of prettier women. They hate their nieces, they hate their daughters. And so all of this stuff is going on in Black families. And there are so many beautiful young women who don't understand why. Why am I being targeted? Why do they hate me? My family's supposed to support me. What is going on? Well, it's because it's spiritual warfare, and people have a desire, a strong desire to break the strongest members of the Black community. And I know that sounds strange, but it is true, because oftentimes you'll notice that the most obnoxious members of our community are actually the weakest. They're loud because that's a way that they can hide. They can hide their insecurities and their inadequacies by being loud. And they know that our community is emotional. They know that there are a lot of emotionally unintelligent people in our community. And so if they're loud, then automatically people are going to say, oh, she's so real. She's so real. She just keep it real. And they know that because our community is so emotional, that the individual that enters the room quietly is going to be the one that people sort of question. They're going to question your character because, first of all, oftentimes people equate humility with something negative. They'll say, oh, she's sneaky, or she's so stupid, or she's weak, or she's just a pretty face, or she's just a nice body, right? Because you enter the room and you're just there and you just kind of enjoying the environment, whatever the environment is. You're just kind of there and you're enjoying, and you're not saying too much or doing too much. You have class, you're different. People don't want to talk about this in the Black community, but I'm going to talk about it because this is my channel, actually God's channel, and I'm going to discuss what God tells me to discuss. So whatever he puts on my heart to address, I'm going to address it. And so we see this a lot in our community. And so I want to speak to the women who feel like they're being targeted for being different. And they really don't understand, what is the problem. I haven't disrespected anybody. I haven't violated anybody. I haven't said anything out of the way to anybody. I'm not rude. I'm mannerable. I'm loving. I'm caring. I've been kind. I've been generous. I've blessed people. Right? What is the problem? Why would my aunt say this to me? Why would my whoever, cousin, brother, sister, say this to me? Why are they doing this to me? Why does it feel like people are ganging up on me or people are out to get me? Because you have the potential to break generational curses, and those individuals are flunkies for evil. They are being used by the enemy. It is spiritual warfare. They are being used, they are being flunked, they're being punked to keep your family in degeneracy and devastation. They want to keep the family right where it is. So if in your family people have struggled with drug addiction or alcoholism, whatever it is, those individuals, they don't want change. And just your presence, just the sight of you makes them feel threatened because they don't want change. They want the family to stay as it is. And so I want you to know that there are breakers. There are breakers in the community. There are breakers in the family. And even if you notice, when you make friends with people, sometimes if you're talking to a guy, or maybe you have a new friend, and at first, in the beginning, they just love you. They're complimenting you all the time. Oh, you're so strong. You're so smart. You're so this. You're so that. You're so interesting. Yada, yada, yada. And then over time, they start to take jabs at you. They start to insult you or find ways to try to undermine your success or your accomplishments, right? They're chipping away, trying to chip away at your self-esteem. It is that same spirit, the spirits of inferiority, insecurity, inadequacy, envy. That person is trying to break you. And with family, it seems like the ones that you've blessed the most, the ones you've done the most for, sacrificed the most for, spent the most money on, given the most to, right? You say, oh my gosh, I've done so much for these individuals. Why are they doing this to me? It's like they're just trying to rip my heart out of my chest and stomp all over my heart. It's that same spirit. They're trying to break you. They're trying to break you. They want to be the ones to break you. If you've ever gone through something, I know I'll use myself for an example. When my grandmother passed away in December of 2021, I saw a lot of people's true colors. I saw a lot. I mean, I learned a lot throughout the whole process because she had dementia for a long time and I was her primary caregiver. And so I started to notice things then, but when she passed away, there was absolutely no empathy from some of the main family members, the ones that pretended to love her so much. Oh, and they just worshiped her. Oh, I just love her. Family members that she had done a lot for. There was no empathy, none. And in addition to there not being any empathy, there were individuals who tried to pile on to the grief. Like they tried to make that time difficult for me. One family member in particular actually called me with some mess. They were really like trying to beef with me during my time of bereavement. And I'm like, this is crazy. And of course, because God gave me discernment to see what this person was trying to do, that this person was trying to break me, I did not engage. I stayed calm and I allowed the person to speak with all the attitude and all the unnecessary spice that that person was giving me. I allowed that individual to speak and I replied. Essentially, I said what I said, that I am disappointed at the lack of support. That's all I said. I'm disappointed. And I stood on what I said. I stated it quietly. I didn't get ignorant. I didn't get nasty, even though that was the energy that that individual was giving to me. Also, that individual tried to gaslight me into thinking that somehow I had done something to offend them when I'm the one that lost my adoptive mother. Like I was the closest person to her and she to me. So, but that individual was trying to break me. And oftentimes you'll notice that they want you to cry. They want to make you cry. They want to say something or do something to you to make you cry. Guess what? I want to be honest, so I'm thinking. I don't recall one time within the last, I want to say 10 years, maybe 10, 11 years, that I've ever allowed somebody to see me sweat, right? I've never allowed anybody to make me cry. because God has opened my eyes to see these spirits. So every time I encounter someone with that spirit that wants to break you, that spirit of inferiority and insecurity, every time I encounter someone with that spirit, I can see it. God shows me the spirit. And so once I know what you're trying to do, first of all, because I'm already naturally stubborn, you will not succeed. You will not. You will not. You will fail every time trying to break my spirit or even trying to make me cry. Because I think people think, oh, if I can make her cry, it's like they get off on that. These are really sick, desperate, disgusting, evil, rotten spirits. These are demonic spirits. Why ever would anybody want to make somebody cry? Why would somebody want to break somebody else's spirits? That's evil. That's wicked. It's demonic. And if you've seen people who come across that way, or you're in relationship with someone who's making you feel that way, like you're picking up on that energy, stay away from them. Release that person and their bad energy. Just cut all contact with them because it's evil. It's evil. I have never in my life ever felt like I needed to try to break anybody. That doesn't do anything for me. That doesn't, even the thought of that. The thought of that makes me sad. The thought of that makes me sad. I never, ever, ever think like that because it's evil, it's wicked, and I'm just not built that way. I'm the type of person, I want to see everybody win. I want to be a blessing. I want to help people, and that's all I've ever done. My entire life is help people. Anybody that's ever lied on me, that claims to have a problem with me, I would say the majority of those people, I would say 9 out of 10, I've blessed them beyond anything they've ever done for me. I've done more for them, far more. And I'm not talking about, just a few dollars here and a few dollars here. I'm talking about there are members of my family that have lived in my house, eaten my food, slept in my bed, a bed that I purchased, helping them with this and that and the other. And I'm not rich. I'm nowhere near rich. But sacrifices I've made for people who were down or who needed me. I've given people furniture. I've given people sneakers, like big bags of sneakers. I've done a lot for people. And it's not about throwing anything in people's faces. It's about just being open and honest and candid about how that spirit works. It doesn't matter how much you do for them, how much you've blessed them, how good you've been to them, how many times they've eaten at your dinner table or you've cooked meals for them. It doesn't matter what you've done for them, how good you've been. They want to break you. They want to be the ones to break you. It's an evil, demonic spirit. And I want to get back to this thing in our community where people gravitate to the most obnoxious members of our community. I want to get back to that because even if you think about the most popular Black entertainers, they're typically the most obnoxious. And some of our most talented entertainers are unsung. They're the most overlooked and underappreciated because they're not loud and obnoxious and emotional. And just like with the Black church, it's so emotional. And that's why people go, because they can go and get their emotional high and hide behind religion and not really fix themselves or seek help. And so they're still running around with all of these issues and unresolved trauma, trying to break others to make themselves feel good. My message to the beautiful women who know that they've been good, that they've been kind, I want to speak directly to you. You know that you've been good and you've been kind and you've been gracious and you've been merciful and you've been loving. You know that you've been all of those things, and you just can't figure out what is wrong with people. Like, why would they block their own blessings, or why wouldn't they appreciate all that I have to offer, my strengths, my gifts? Why wouldn't this family come together and say, hey, we've got these talented women in this family who can cook? Because most people wouldn't know by looking at me, because I've always been a small frame woman, that I can throw down. Okay, I can throw down. Okay, I don't put my foot in it, I put my entire body in it. Okay, so oftentimes, I have thought about some of the women in my family, and I said, you know what, we could have made a lot of money if we would have opened up a soul food restaurant, or really any type of restaurant, because I can cook just about anything. But when you know what you're dealing with, right? When you can see, God gives you spiritual eyes to see. It's not something that you would ever attempt to do, because too many breakers in the family, too many breakers around you, people who just want to break. What did Beyonce say? You can't break my soul. So many people that just want to break you. But I want to encourage you today. And I want to be a living witness, a living example, a living testimony. Because the word says we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony. And so that's why I started this YouTube channel, because God said, I need to use you. I know you're a private person. I know you just want to do your own thing, right? You just want to connect with your husband and go and live happily ever after, make a lot of love, make a lot of money, and live a private life. I know that's what you want to do, but I need you to start this YouTube channel, because I need women like you to know that I'm all they need. God is all you need. He is all you need. He is more than you ever could imagine you would ever have in this life, when you really put your trust in him and you seek him first. The word says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things will be added unto you. So seek ye first, and everything else will just fall into place. But and the word also says, if I am for you, it's more than the whole world against you. So if God is for you, it's more than the whole world against you. God is all you need. I'm a living witness. God can do anything. He blesses us beyond anything that we can imagine or think. He will use anybody to bless you. Anybody. You think you need your mom, your dad, your sister, your cousin, your brother, your this, your that? Trust God and let him show you who he is. Let him show you how powerful he is. He's El Shaddai. He's almighty. Let him be your everything. Your Jehovah Shalom, your peace. Your Jehovah Jireh, your provider. Your Jehovah Nisi, your banner, your refuge, and your victory. Let him be everything to you. Give him that chance, and he will show you. He will bless you beyond anything you could ever ask or think. I am a living witness. God has empowered me to accomplish so much in this life that if I sat here and I ran down my resume and my curriculum vitae, you wouldn't believe it. You say there are people who have lived until they were 100 years old and haven't accomplished that. That's because I serve the one who sits high, looks low, owns every beast of the forest and the cattle on 1,000 hills. I'm a living witness. I am a living witness of who God is and how powerful he is and how much he loves his children. So that's my word on today. Trust God. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all these things will be added unto you. He'll bless you beyond your wildest dreams. Know that you are worthy. Know that you are loved. Please like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, it's your girl, Aisha, signing off.